Hi, and welcome to my craft room. If you've not been here before, my name is Sue, and today I'd like to discuss what happens when we need a card real quick. We get that oh no moment, and we need to get it done and in the mail because we looked at our planner and the month has flown by and it's almost over, and your dad's birthday is coming up and you need a card real quick. So today I want to go over the things that I find is useful to get a card out real quick and what things we need. Yes, we have all the tools, we have everything we need, but if we're not prepared for the quick cards, we get frustrated and it takes too long and we end up going to Safeway to buy a card. If we're prepared with simple little things, we can make that quick card go faster. And so those items that I feel for me that work the best for quick cards are having cardstock already cut and labeled so I know what colors I've got and have it already in an A2 size. I'll go over that. Having my markers and my pencils swatched so I don't have to guess what color they are. I can just pick the color and I know if I like it. My inks are swatched, and I'll show you that to know what color inks I want to put before I put it on the card, and you find out that violet really is darker than you really wanted. Embossing folders, putting it on copy paper and having them sample of it so you know what it looks like ahead of time. And then cutouts already colored, already have your stamp designs. Do it when you have a free moment where you've colored the object, you've already got it out there, you've cut it out into a basic oval or square shape and store it away so you can just grab it on the card. So those are the things I'm going to go over today. Hope you enjoyed the video, and again, I'll show you what I do to make it easier to create that quick card. So let's get going. Cardstock is the most important thing we need for a card. And what I do when I get cardstock from, in my case, Gina K, I print out, I take one sheet and I cut it into 4 A2 size. 3 of them I put in my stash, and then the 4th one I make a tag, and then I label what the back is. So if I find that I'm running low in this stash, and then I go to my paper stash and I don't have any more, I know what color I'm low on. So again, I always cut 4 right away. In the A2 size, and then I put 3 away, and 1 I make a tag. That way I have at all times the card base that I need for the card. And so for today, I'm pretty sure I'm going to need the green one. So I will be able to pull that out, and just looking, it looks like I'm a little low on the green for the Lucky Clover, so I'll have to go into my stash and make 4 more A4 sizes so I have it for future cards. This is the key thing, and then if I want to do a background, then I know that I can even grab any other color and make a white one, and I have it. Or if I want, I have it in rainbow order in my drawer, but I can automatically color, and I thought I had a chocolate one, so I even have the black. So if I want to be able to do a black, white, green card, there, I can just have the card right there. And also when I first get the cardstock, one of the other things I do is I take a sheet and I automatically cut out A2 size base cards and make those. So if I have to get a card, I already have the base. I can add all my colors. This will be for Halloween, I guess. So you just have it right there. The card is done. I just need a focal point and I'm ready to go. So I find that for paper, if I automatically cut it up, put it into the A2 size square, then I can just go through my swatch and say, oh, I need this color, grab it and get going. The next item that I've done, and to make it easier, is I've taken all my stamps, ink pads I mean. I took one stamp and I've used it for everything. So I know for Stampin' Up, I have these colors and I've stamped it and I write what it is. And then for Gina K, I have all the colors, same stamp that I've used for everything. And all this is cardstock that I poke 2 holes in it. So as I get more stamps or more inks, I can add to it. So these are the colors that I know by doing the same image, and with these inks, I know what these are going to look like. I have her pigment inks. I have some close to my heart, and I know what they're going to look like. I've labeled them out so I can go find them when I'm ready to use it. And some more close to my hearts and the colors that I have. That way, when I go to grab the card and I want a color that's close to it, I can go, oh, that's Green Galore, and that is from the Stampin' Up! Bold Brights. Or if I want something a little bit different, a little bit darker, or I want a contrasting color, I have all that here, and I just have to stick my paper and look ahead of time without having to guess what it's going to be. Because sometimes when I find that some of these colors like smoky plum or pansy purple is not the purple that I'm looking for, and when I go to stamp I find out too late. Or you've got some of these brights and you want it to be darker and it's not as dark as you thought. So and I always use the same stamp image so that I can keep it consistent with this book, and then I just hide it, but then I can add anytime I want. And then when I don't have a color, because this one ran out, I just cross it out, and ultimately I'll have to redo that page. And this helps when I go to order from Gina K, I'll know which ones I already have, and I don't have to run and order those again, which has happened. And so my mom gets some extra ink because I've got some duplicates, but that's kind of what I do for my inks. But also for the Distress Oxide, I've downloaded theirs, and I used this in the foam pad and just swatched some colors so I know which ones I have for those as well, and kind of can get, so I know the Lucky Clover. And in this case, their Lucky Clover is a little bluer than the paper for Lucky Clover, so I wouldn't necessarily put those two together. And this helps to do that. And I have that for the colors that I have. And anytime I want to add more, I can. I just got it stapled. I can add more anytime. So that's the best way that I show for the inks that I have. And I can grab those. And here's that chocolate one I was looking for. I'll probably put those two together. For my colored pencils, I had downloaded this Prismacolor Premier Pencils chart because I do have the 150 colors, and so I didn't quickly, swatched out all the pencils, and I did them from light to dark so I could see the lightest color of Scarlet Lake to the darkest color, and I did that for all of them so I could see the gradient of each color. And when it comes to my coloring the pencils, I can see what it is that I did and what color I would want. And then for I don't have Copics, I have Spectrum Noir colors. And this was I have the older ones, but I used the 2017 color chart just because I like the squares, and it gave me a nice clean idea of what the colors are. Now again, these are my colors. I didn't download their colors because I want to know what my pens look like, which is more important to know when you're coloring what your colors are. So if you want to do blonde hair, you know exactly what colors to choose from ahead of time before you accidentally add, a color. You put in a LY thinking light yellow, and that's not the color that you're going for. Or you think that you've got the purples, and look at they're all over the place of what colors, and LV1 and LV2 are so different. You would think that they would be right next to each other in blending, but they're not. They're very different. So having a color swatch of your markers and your pencils is so important when you're going to color an image. For this image that I colored earlier, I did the Prismacolor pencils, and I knew with the blues which ones to pick, and the greens and the red. I already knew ahead of time by using my color swatch and picking those colors. One of the next items that I have is my embossing folders, and as you can see, I have a lot of them. And if I was to go scroll through, I wouldn't know what they look like. So here I just put it on a little ring. I ran these through just basic copy paper, so it's nothing, you know, not using my cardstock, and I can see what design it's going to look like before I run it through. Now these are just the A2 sizes. There are embossing folders that are bigger, and I have swatches for those as well, but for the A2 I know exactly what it's going to look like before I run it through. So if I wanted to do one today, I would just go look for Goosebumps, and I kind of put down Anna Griffin hearts and tassels, so that way I can find it in my area quicker as exactly what it is. And also this helps again to know what I already have, and when I see something on the websites I'm like, oh, do I have that one? And it's like, oh, I do. And then especially if you go to other YouTube videos of other people and they're using this folder and you're like, oh, I've got that, or I've got an equivalent, you can know what you can do. This one's really pretty, especially in yellow, and then put some white focal point on it. It's a gorgeous embossing folder. And then there's so many different ones that you can use. And this is the famous Swiss dots, which we use for just about everything. What I like about Swiss dots is this could be both sides. So you've got the flat side and the bumpy side. And again, this one also with the little swirls and the circles. You can do it both sides, which works out very well. So I keep this by my swatches so that when I go to grab a card, I've got my paper, I've got my ink, I've got my embossing folders, and I know what I need before I even get started. The last thing I have is, being that we make stamps and then we make designs and we don't always send them out, I try to make things ahead of time, and I keep this. This is an embossing folder. I forget who it's by, but my embossing folders actually didn't fit in here, all of them. So I use this for my die cuts. And like I mentioned before, if you've already colored a design and you've got it ready, when you come along and you want to do a card, you're like, oh, I've already colored it, and you can just grab this and put this on your cardstock and you have a card already made up. So I try to, once a month there is a monthly challenges out there for coloring, and I try to do some of those with the stamps that I have, and then just keep them in this folder for anything that I have. Same with some of the embossing die cuts. I don't know if you could see that, but I've die cut some of these ahead of time, so when the time comes I can just pull it out. And some of the ones that I've front pages. So here you have those things. And I also do a lot of the ovals, the standard oval cuts, so that you already have them ahead of time. And for this card for today, I'm going to do the birthday cupcake. And I had colored this with the Prisma pencils. And I don't have to do it again. I can just get a card, and if I wanted to, I could put it on that cardstock and pick the colors, or for a background, or if I wanted to just do craft. I don't think I did the larger ones for these yet. No, I didn't. But you can go ahead and put that on there if you want to do it like that. It's already done. Boom. And I don't think I have any other ones that would work for this. Oh, and I already made up some of these ahead of time, these little banners. So you could put that on a card, and you can either do a larger one if you want like that, and then put happy birthday or whatever you want down the side. It's already made up. It's in here, ready to go. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video on how to be prepared for quick emergency type cards. The main thing that we should have prepared at all times, again, is cardstock. We should know what our stash is, what we already have, and be able to just grab it quickly with the colors that we have. Inks, we want to have a swatch of all the inks we have, so we grab the right color based on the paper that we chose, and we're not stamping the wrong color and have to do it again. Just know you have a swatch of your stamps, of your inks. Pencils and markers, have swatches of each of those, so if you decide that you had wanted to do a pencil or you wanted to do a marker, you already know what color to choose. And that goes with your cutouts that you've already had done earlier, and you can then go back to your swatches and pick the right marker or pencil that will match your cards, the cutout that you did earlier. And then your embossing folders, if you have those already pressed into some copy paper, you know what it will look like, and you're not wasting paper by running through the wrong design. You can match it up right at the beginning with the design that you want. So with those things, I hope you find yourself that you're prepared the next time you have that, oh no, what am I going to do moment, because you looked in your planner and you realized that the month is almost gone and you need to send a card out. And thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this little video, please hit the subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, and if you would like to see anything in the future that I haven't covered already, please leave a comment below and I'll try to address that in the next video. Thank you and have a great day.